Man, it's good to see you guys after, or at least be talking with you guys after a long night of dealing with, gangsters and drug dealers and perverts and weird male Karens and transient meth heads and, all that stuff. I'm out here in the daylight on my day off. So yeah, let's talk about, interacting with the police and interacting with criminals. So, a main difference for me, at least when I think about straddling these two worlds, is time. It's time. Because with a bad guy, if you will, right? If they see you as an average citizen to kind of prey on, right? What'll start to happen is they have a bit of a time limit where they're hanging out in this interaction with you, seeing if they're going to be able to get what they want or move you to wherever they need to move you or get as close to you as they need to. Whatever weird shit, get you to drive them somewhere, they really need a ride, whatever this strangeness that's been visited upon you outside 7-Eleven or whatever. There's a time during that where they will realize, are they going to get what they want or not? And then at that point, either you were prepared for violence or not, it may not get violent. Oftentimes, and we'll talk about carrying knives, but for me, usually when I run into people like this, I keep my knife in my pocket with my keys, in pocket, so no one sees the clip. Because you don't need them to know what it is to kind of try to figure out what they need to do. What you need them to do is wonder, could be a gun, could be mace, could be a knife, I'm not sure, but this gentleman is clearly smart and is ready for this, because my hand goes into my pocket and they can't say anything because my keys are also in my pocket, and people fidget with their keys, So, during these, strange interactions where you're probably talking to definitely a bona fide psychopath, and also if you use the fact and leverage the fact that you're a busy person, you know what I'm saying? Like you got stuff going on. And people know that. These people know that somebody's showing up to you to victimize you or whatever, let me get the time, and then they hit you in the face, give me your fucking shit, that type of thing. You don't think they know that? Like they're definitely expecting that they kind of held you up a little bit, when you're walking outside of 7-Eleven to your car or whatever. They're expecting that, you are going to try to communicate that you're busy, and then, depending on how well you stick to shooing them away, you've shooed them away. You know what I'm saying? But the difference between them and a police officer is, with the police officer, fuck what you thought and what you thought you were doing. Like, I'm serious. Like, for me, whenever I think, like, if I have food in my car and I see the police, I always pray they don't pull me over, because I know my food is done. It's over. I'm not going to want to eat whatever it is that I bought from the drive-thru or whatever by the time this is over. And do you know why? It's because the police it's a different reality. Your reality has stopped. This is timeout. This is pause on the video game. I'm telling you, dude, the best way to deal with them is to understand that whatever it was, that maybe even whoever you were has to stop. Like, you know what I'm saying, dude? Like, cops have gotten a little weird with me back in my early days, because even though I was nice to them, because I respect authority in a way, because I was raised in military school, sometimes my body language and whatever was not exactly matching up with how I was speaking with them. And it wasn't because I don't have any problems with police, man. It was nothing like that. I would never raise my hand, like that. It was just, I'm used to being two kind of guys at once. You know what I'm saying? Like, as you guys can tell, I do like to be polite, and I care about gamers and nerds and heavy metal and anime. Yeah, I listen to fucking anime music, you believe it or not. But I also will savagely murder somebody. You know what I'm saying? And it's not, as you can tell by the type of dude I am, it's, probably gonna be somebody who deserves it, before I get put in myself. You know what I mean? But the thing is that I felt comfortable, and I believed in my ability and my judgment to be these two men. Well, when you're fucking 20, it's a little bit more difficult to get that across to police, right? So they would ask me weird things or move me or kind of detain me in a way that they could, you're not gonna fight us, are you? And I'm like, sir, I've just been hanging out and talking with you and everything, doing everything that you want. I don't understand. I didn't realize that my body language was not helping the situation. So that was my little thing. But something I'm noticing with a lot of other people out there, and here I am just trying to help people not be shot by the police, people are taking their time over the officer's time. Look, you gotta understand, this is not some personal thing from the officer. The officer has got all motherfucking day and night. He has all day and night to deal with this interaction, and he just can't walk away from it. It's his job, okay? So, and I try to tell people at the club that when they're like, oh, sorry, that, I'm making you do this or whatever, like I'm getting a manager for them from the door or whatever. And I'm like, hey man, I got all night, if they go back to get their ID from their car and they apologize, I'm like, dude, don't apologize to me. I got all night, I'm here till close. It's the same with the police, except the close is your motherfucking life if they need it to be, if it's your life and theirs, So something to keep in mind is that whatever you thought you had going on, you can't shoo these guys away. I see so many videos of people trying to shoo officers away. Guys, that's not how this works, okay? I'm not trying to say that it's a good policy, for a cop to just blast somebody who could be armbarred, you know what I mean? I get that, of course. I mean, don't we all? But, you know what I'm saying? They're just like how you go to a store, right? And the policy of the store really starts to fuck with you until finally everyone's out of options, and even the general manager is like, sorry, dude, sorry. And it's just done. It's over, right? The policy has fucked you. Well, that could be deadly force with the police, They're just doing their thing. And, somehow or another, it kept escalating and getting. And now, once again, this is not some big thing for me to defend the cops. I'm just looking out for us, dude. Dude, if you're out here, in the street, man, like, you got cops and criminals that you have to realize how you're going to interact with both. You know what I'm saying? With the police, it just doesn't matter who you were before they showed up. You need to be a temporary other person. And that person should be like, yes, sir, no, sir. And whatever you thought, there can be no rush. You're not rushing through this. The fastest I've ever dealt with police, it's kind of like what they say about, basic training for different military branches. Quickest out of the way, I was to graduate, right? So you watch Angry Cops, he has some funny ass videos when he talks about that. If you really want this to end as quickly as possible, dealing with the police, completely drop any preconceived notion you had about how your time works. It's done. It's actually been a couple of times, I'm glad that I'm much older, you know what I'm saying, because this is a long time ago, so, where, we kind of were up to not great shit, you know what I'm saying, like, it never really endangered anybody, because I can't associate with the type of people who, would do anything towards, someone who was not violently involved with them. So definitely please never mistake me for that kind of person. If I ever show up in the papers for some shit, trust me, that dude will be a dirtbag. Just, I know a lot. I'm around a lot of them at work. It's going to be a piece of shit if I end up in the papers for, killing somebody. So let's not worry about that. But still, just by really relaxing and letting the fact, wash over me that the police have arrived. Here they are. And I have funny stories talking with them. Well, I just let that go. Whatever it is they wanted, gave it to them, said whatever. Just let them work through the process. It's really all you can do, man, Once again, that's not to justify any kind of bad policing or whatever, but, the most effective way to deal with a bad police officer is let them, do their job. You get home safe, and then you play in the courts. The police department's not gonna be happy about that. And this tactic wasn't even brought up by me being like, hey, here's some ideas. No, not operator. A great, man who wants to give people information, fair information about police officers. That comes from him, okay? So yeah, if you got bad cops, fight them in the court, not in the streets, unless you want to fucking die.